The Signal from Tolva is a single-player, first-person shooter, combat, and exploration game from the developers that made So You're Being Hunted. I've been lucky enough to try it out at EGX 2016, which is a big gaming convention in the UK, and I definitely think this is one to look out for and to keep your eyes peeled on. What's it all about? Well, in the distant future, there are robots that have broken free of the shackles of human servitude, and there are several factions doing their own thing. And several of these robotic factions have been tempted by a signal from Tolva, an ancient war site, where there are eerie bones and skulls and bodies of gigantic war machines that had taken part in cataclysmic battles. But below all that, hiding underneath the surface of this ancient war is this signal and the mystery you are trying to unravel in the game. It's got lots of very high sci-fi, very interesting concepts that they're putting into the game. For example, you can hack into the robotic factions, and they won't know that you've hacked into them, but you can basically play factions off against each other as you join one faction as a robot and then join another, and that's almost how the fast travel system works. You don't actually take one robot to another place, you just hack another robot at another area. In the core of the game, it's a lot like a Far Cry 3, 4 and Primal system, where there are lots of waypoints on the map. There are sort of like encampments and areas of enemies and little mini missions to go on and complete. And I think that if you like the Far Cry games and you like sci-fi, this might be an easy move over as you get used to the game. The art style is very quirky and the robot's very unique, and in general the environments look great without having to have the biggest polygon counts and high quality textures around. I mean, it still looks good, and the developers have said that they're really pushing the boundaries of the Unity engine which it is built on. I was able to get my hands on it and play just some of the early gameplay, and some of the sights, not just the interactions I saw, were really quite breathtaking. I saw the wreckage of a gigantic warship, and as I got close to it, there were like smaller ships, drop ships that were dropping people down and floating off as I got close, and little scanning bots scanning around doing their own thing, researching the planet, and then the factions of robots all around. Everything really pulls together and makes an authentic sci-fi experience. The drive for the game is this sort of mystery about this signal from Tolva and what it actually means and how it relates to all the factions and why the factions are going for it. The developer said there's a zealot faction which is basically trying to stop you at all costs from learning about the signal as they sort of worship it. And then there's the just general factions fighting over control of the planet and basically trying to research as much as they can of the signal. And then there's bandits and other chaotic factions in the middle and other dangers that you have to deal with. The combat at the moment is alright. I'd say that some of the weapons, they had a lot of horizontal recoil, so they fired quite wildly around when you sort of even tried to burst fire them. But what the developer did say, because I mentioned it to them, they said, well, these are the early weapons and obviously you upgrade as you go along, and that's part of it. You have a very sort of hodgepodge, very rough gun to begin with that isn't too great, but once you progress, that gets better and better, and obviously makes you better in the game. And one layer of the game is taking these bunkers and turning them into one faction to gain control of them and be able to spawn on them, basically. I also got to play Horizon Zero Dawn, which if you didn't know was a PS4 exclusive that has huge hype, like massive. And that game definitely does look amazing, both in its design and in the fact that it's very high fidelity. The sort of textures, the models, extremely high end. And it does have this sort of robotic theme as well, but it's more about wildlife, and it's almost very much like Far Cry Primal. I don't know if you've played Far Cry Primal, but if you imagine Far Cry Primal and you replace the animals with robots, then you get a lot of the feel for Horizon Zero Dawn. Although Horizon Zero Dawn has quite a good fleshed out combat system, with enemies having weak spots and different weaknesses and different ways to take them down, which might differentiate it from the Far Cry series, but it is open world and very much felt that way. But this is definitely perhaps a alternative in the sort of similar gameplay and somewhat similar setting but coming to the PC, and apparently it's coming to operating system X, which is Apple as well. Anyway, just thought I'd let everyone know, and probably just keep your eyes peeled for this one. And it's coming out early 2017, and the developer said that they didn't want to do early access, they just wanted to go ahead and go for it. So hopefully it'll be a good game once it comes out. So we've got something to look forward to in its full glory. Anyway, what does everyone else think about this game? Has anyone else heard of it yet? I mean, this is the first time that they said that they were showing gameplay live at an event for people to actually play on. Although I have seen some footage on YouTube of it as well, which I'll probably link in the description below, because my footage is pretty much just of me playing, and it's the screen, so it's not the best quality. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more EGX Joshino content. And EGX will be done by Sunday, so I'll probably be done with videos by Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, see you next time. Thank you all very much for watching. Joshino.